I have not done these in a while. Let's see how it goes. So, procrastination and fear. Disclaimer. This particular essay doesn't have any basis in scientific papers. It comes from my personal opinions and experiences. Provided you haven't already left, for this essay to work, I have to give some background information. Starting way back in 2019, right on Halloween, I made my first animation. Back then, I viewed it as an ultimate success. After not even a year, relaxed artists went quiet and I started my own channel. I figured that by doing some very silly video, I would pressure myself to try to improve. And it actually worked. Soon enough, I realized that making essays is very tedious, and there was not a big return on them. That is why this channel turned into a vlogging channel. To top it all off, I am from Slovakia, so absolutely unexpectedly, now I have two vlog channels. Now that you're all caught up on the basics, what does any of this have to do with fear and procrastination? When doing something for the first time, full well knowing that it will either end as a failure or cringy mess, I embrace it and finish it. Yes, final product usually ends up below average. Seeing it all through, it creates a special bond, and usually later down the line, when doing similar work, knowing you've done this before, you will do better. Yes, this is, for most of you, a no-brainer. It is a beginning. Let me remind you, only thoughts you really have are fear. Fear, confusion, sense of dread, feelings of never-ending struggle, and constantly questioning yourself if you're not going crazy. Given you finish your first project, however minor or major it is, your view on it will alter with time. Only until you do that work again, and a few more times, you will start to see problems in the original. Little later, due to either shame and cringe and time, you will not be even able to watch your first works anymore. The same will happen to all your older works. You will see improvements, the upsides and the downsides, and you will be able to recognize them. We, or at least most of my peers, me including, tend to kill most of the day in front of screens, consuming videos, manga, films, or playing video games, or whatever else. That is not the kind of procrastination that I had in mind. Procrastination that comes from fear has two forms, and both have the same outcomes. You will inevitably get to the point where you will be comfortable enough in your work that you will create a protective bubble around yourself. A bubble from fear of failing, that you will make a bad video, or that something doesn't work out and you will create, again, a failure. That feeling sucks you up. And if you don't push through it, you will stop making work entirely for some time. From fear that you will fail. Creators, when they stop working, reasons may vary. Family, school, equipment, burning out, holiday, whatever the reason is. Unless you get back into it shortly, you will start to look back on, or while watching other creators, the sense very similar to the original dread. When you start it, returns, and it grows, while not doing the work that is tied to. You know you're screwed when you catch yourself finding excuses why not to do that work. And if you are self-aware enough, it scares you to death. You then really only have two choices. Giving the craft up and focusing on something else, something new, not returning to that work ever again. Even if it fills you later on with some sense of pity or the feeling of what if. or you immediately start working on it again. Despite the fear, cringe, knowing full well that the work is going to be below average or average at best, knowing that later on this particular work will be one of those on which you will not be able to look back again. But by making it, it actually helped you to return to your hobby. It allowed you to continue doing it. From an easy guess, you can probably tell what I was going through for the last few months now. I buried myself in everything else possible, sometimes getting guilty feelings when I remembered that I have more than Instagram and TikTok. Yes, I worked on myself, and my other hobbies quite a lot. I got into photography and I got really better at it. This is a love letter to one of my hobbies that I was procrastinating on. Words of comfort for those who need to hear this, and a reminder for everyone, all this is normal. It is life, and there's nothing else. So, if you really want to create something or start something, do it. You will feel all of these things, the dread, the pain, everything. It will be there. It just comes with it. If you're making videos like me, if you are writing books or novels or whatever, absolutely everything. Even for photographers. Also, musicians experience this as well. And probably musicians experience this the most. So, goodbye.